the hard truth. But listen, you can remember, words don't teach, experience does. I don't mean to cut you off. I got to go there for a second. We can tell our child whatever we want to tell them. The experience that we give them is what they learn. You can tell a child every day I love you and don't spend no time with them. That child will grow up to feel in love.
How's BizAsh? Great, especially with the help of Zero accounting software. I can keep my cash flow flowing by giving customers more ways to pay. Search Zero with an X.
What if this year, the real gift was doing something awesome together?
Hollywood is a place where we're sacrificing.
And now, let me say this. My dad has 6 kids, though. My dad has... No, my dad has 6 children. 6 daughters.
We're tagging you, Paul.
But my dad has 6 daughters. I just want to say this. My dad is a present, wealthy father. He has money. He has means. He's married to my mother.
Yeah.
He was married 2 times before and has 6 children before my mom. Wow. 2 times. He has 6 children. I'm the youngest out of 6.
Wow.
My sister and myself were from my mother, who he's been married to the longest. Got to see my dad the most. My other sisters have rights where they're like, damn, I love my dad. He provided for us financially because he's rich. He did this. He came and saw us when he could. And da-da-da-da. But I wasn't growing up in the household every day with my dad.
Because they wanted the true currency of life. You know what that currency is? Time.
Mm-hmm.
Time is a true currency of life. It's not green, and you can't spend it. And you can't even describe time. You know why? Because it's that infinite.
Yeah.
It's that important. Paul, what were you going to say? Because I felt like you had something heavy to say. Come on, Paul.
I don't know.
We were talking about, no, because you were going somewhere good. You were saying that we can't just blame the father. We also have to look at the mother who is filing for divorce. No, you're going somewhere good because I wanted to talk about that piece because you're on point. And you were saying that when you have a conversation with a child, it can't always be daddy messed up, right? Daddy is the problem, right? You were going down that lane. But let me tell you why I love that you were going there, because a lot of times, because kids, no, you were going somewhere so good, because kids grow up when the divorce happens and dad leaves the house, right? And what happens is little boys end up resenting their mother, because in a little boy's mind, yes they do, they end up resenting the mom. You know why? Because in the little boy's mind, if mom would have done right, daddy would have not to be here. The only time that a little boy does not resent the mother is if he literally sees his father abusing his mother, and he can rationalize why his mom would leave his father. If a child cannot rationalize why you would leave his mother, he has to. They're kids; they have no insight. Father, they got to blame somebody, and if they don't blame you or mom, guess what they blame? Themselves. Now we're really in a self-hate crisis. Now we have a little kid that grows up and they feel shame, because shame and guilt are different. Shame is I'm a bad person. Guilt is I did something wrong. So now we have a child that thinks I'm a bad person because I wasn't good enough to keep mom and dad together. I wasn't good enough for my dad and mom to say, even if I stay for her or for him, we're going to keep this family together. So there's nothing I did that was good enough to make these 2 people who are supposed to love me and not drop me, not fumble this family.
Hit that like button.
End up in suicidal ideations over divorce. I have so many kids in my session, teenager, adolescent boys who are 16, who are like, I hate my father for cheating on my mom. I looked at my dad's phone, knew his password, and seen the text messages between him and this woman. And now I'm suicidal. And I want to plan to do it in the kitchen so my dad could find me. You know why? So my dad could see the pain that I felt when he ruined our family.
You know what's crazy?
That, Paul, that is deep.
Yeah, I understand that.
that is super deep. But like, this is the thing with kids. They're always gonna hear one side of the story when there's a divorce, right? Because they're gonna be in the house every day with mom, and they can ask questions at any time, and the mom can say whatever. The dad is not there every day, and he can't explain his side because there's a side of the story and a dynamic in all of this to where the dad is always going to look, like the dad always gets looks at as the bad guy, even though the dad didn't divorce, right? Which happens 90%, a lot of the time.
Well, women
But they
file
never-
more than men, you're right.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. But the kids never know the other side of the story because the men don't tell the kids the other side.
No, you know why? It's to what you just said. Because the man in the house is telling a story. But let me backtrack. Hold on. Because see, when I decide at 42 to be a mother,
This is the year?
I'm off. Yeah, it is.
You pregnant?
Paul's like, do we get an exclusive?
Right. Are you pregnant?
No, I took my IUD out about a month ago so that I can be
Okay.
ready to do
Congrats.
it.
I
What is
love
that,
that.
the eggs?
The IUD is like,
You took the eggs out and
no,
freeze them?
no, the
That's
IUD
not bad?
is a birth control method that you put
Oh.
inside of your vagina.
I wish I had a pillow.
Oh,
I would lock you right at your head.
No, I didn't know. I mean, I know.
The eggs is crazy, but
Well,
no.
you freeze the eggs.
Yeah, you do that, but
I
that's
know, I
not
didn't know
what.
that was what it's called.
No.
I know.
The IUD is a little T that looks like this. It's smaller than this. It goes inside the woman's cervix
Uh-huh.
to stop the sperm from fertilizing the egg. So it goes
You
inside.
took that out, you said.
I had my doctor take it out so that I no
Oh.
longer have birth control contraceptive inside it.
That's different. I never heard of that.
I took it out so that I
You
can
never
get pregnant
I
now.
never heard of that.
I never had one, but it's a thing for sure.
No, I never heard of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is at 42, when I get pregnant,
Which is this year.
right? Manifest it with me, Paul. I love you. When I get pregnant, I, at 42, am not leaving my husband. Hold on. Because I'm making a commitment not just to him, but to these babies. That we will have two people in this house that can tell you their narrative, their story, and you can choose who you want to listen to. You can choose whose story you want to hear. But I want to make sure that I give you everything that I can. Which means if I have to sacrifice a little bit in that household to stay in it, if I got to have meetings with daddy to say, listen, we may not want to be here, but we made a commitment to be here. So what we got to do to make sure we healthy, so the family's healthy. But let me tell you why I say age is important in wisdom. In my 20s and even in my 30s, I would have been in my feelings because emotions don't cause problems, feelings do. And I would have acted out of feeling and not commitment because commitment's not a feeling. It's you doing what you said you was going to do regardless of how you feel. At 42, I can commit. That's that obedience to my promised land. At 20, in my 20s and 30s, guess what? I done threw the whole motherfucking towel in and say, you know what? Me and them kids going to be good because I do well. I'm a doctor. I got to support a family and friends. Nigga, we can co-parent.
Come on.
But that's in your 20s and 30s. This is why I'm saying to a person like yourself and other people watching, men and women who have already made those decisions, and they end up being bad decisions, not mistakes. The kids are not mistakes, but bad decisions in the way that you happen to, create your kids' dynamic you put them in. At 42, I understand the power of commitment and sacrifice. At 23, I understood the power of how I feel. That's the difference, Paul. At 23, we're going to tear this house up. We ain't tripping off these kids. We're going to tear this house up. And we'll figure it out later. You know we're going to do that. Call the police. Neighbors, I don't care. What you say? Shit. Come pick these kids up real quick. It's a problem. You know that. But at 42, we're giving each other that look that goes, the kids is in this. The kids is, we agree. Hold on. Once we put little Paul to sleep at night, now what the fuck was you talking about?
Yeah.
Then we can have our little rounds, but we also are standing on a square that we both drew. That's called commitment. And we are not going to guarantee each other no perfect marriage. We're not going to guarantee that we even like each other sometimes. But what we are going to commit to and guarantee, we ain't going no fucking where. That's one thing that we're supposed to guarantee is that I don't know how life is going to lie, but can you promise to be in this life when it lies with me?
Yeah.
And you can laugh if you want to, because he got a problem with vulnerability. See, and you got a problem with commitment.
Everything I'm been taking, everything that you saying, I'm hearing.
At 20 and 30, you end up in the situation you're in because people respond from what they feel, not from what they committed to. And if people would take their time getting a sense of self, discovering who the hell they are, so they can know who the heck they gotta choose, they will end up in better situations, and so will their offsprings as well. And then we have the real wealth, which is family. And then we can go buy some damn real estate, take the vacations you talking about taking. But until then, we have to focus on the stuff that really is the nucleus, the backbone, the substance. And I'm gonna sit to that. See, you got commitment problems. He laughing and stuff. No, commitment problems.
You good. You real good. It's like that. All right, so this is how I interpreted what you just said.
Okay.
So at 23, 30, y'all gonna tear the room up, argue, you out of there.
Both of us, not just me, everybody.
Yeah,
You know we do that.
So at 23 and 30, them options, you had a lot more options. Now at 42, them options then slimmed up. So yeah, of course you ain't going nowhere.
That ain't it. Now you know what?
That's what you just said.
No, that's not what I said.
In
but
so many
that's not what I
words,
said.
she
But
said, I ain't going nowhere
that's
at
not what I
42.
said. But he's making a good point. For some people who get of age,
Yeah.
their options can become slim. But I can say this: it's usually the man who gets up in age, and he realizes that his options have become slim. So now he wants to marry after he's already created broken homes, broken houses, baby mamas, have multiple kids.
Once your paper's straight, you're really good. It don't matter how old you are, because
so he got to make sure that he
you can
cashes
choose
out
who
while
you
he can and get him the
do or
closest
who
thing
you
to
don't
what he
want to
considers
do.
a modern day baddie, who is nowhere in comparison to the old school baddies he used to be able to get when he was in his prime. Now, for women who are educated, women who are still beautiful, women who are still keeping themselves up physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, they just get better with time. And they become a demand not just only for older men, but for the younger men. And so the women who keep themselves up in that capacity actually become optioned, actually end up having more of abundance of options than they did when they were young. And there are also the women that the men who are their age, like my age, no, they can't obtain, let alone sustain. And so they will stay in their lane. They will stay in their lane because they understand, hold on, she was the woman I wanted when I was younger and couldn't obtain. I damn sure can't do it now that she has become cooked versus still meat that's marinated in the freezer. And that's the truth of it. And if women understood their value, right, as long as they just upkeep their value, right, which is internal and external, then they would stop opting out early on. They would realize, no, my options start to build and expand as I build and expand. I agree. And I think men as well. I feel like if men understood their value, then they would not be raw dogging. They would not be sharing their semen with just any woman. If they understood their value. Come on. Those are things that they would double think and triple think. Yeah.
For the ones who rise to every challenge, there's Granger. For the ones who get it done.
Style and substance. In the GMC Sierra. Work during the GMC holiday event. Get a total value of over $8,200 on the Sierra Pick.
If you think your child may have autism, it's important to act quickly. At Action Behavior Centers, we want to reduce barriers to diagnostic support for pediatricians.
So, and another thing, I said, I was talking to a friend earlier, and I said, the young guy that I was dating for 5 years off and on, I said he had no kids, he was young, very successful, in his field. I said, and what I loved most about him was he showed his responsibility, because in our intimate settings, I never, ever one time had to say, can you put a rubber on? Can you put on a contraceptive? I never had to say that, because in his mind, he didn't want to procreate before marriage. He didn't want to be raw dogging. He didn't want to, even though we might have had 4 or 5 years together and he was in love with me. He was being responsible. And that was a strong act of self-love. Because what he was saying is that, wait, it's not just your value, Shy. and you want me to cover up, not just because babies, but obviously STDs. But I know my value as a man. So you ain't got to ask me to cover up because I'm not going in nothing wrong. That is a man who loves himself. There's no man who loves himself and will allow himself to be at the highest risk of STDs when we have HIV and other diseases that are not curable that are at an all-time high and always have been. That is a self-love deficit. And we have that a lot in our community. That is a problem. And I'm not going to coddle bad decisions when it comes to things that dissipate and marginalize our community even more than it already is. Those are real conversations we need to have. Men need to know that their penis is just as valuable as a woman's private area. Absolutely. And they need to act as such. They need to act as such.
I agree with that. That's deep. I have a question. So when you are talking about, being committed, right? Like, so for instance, my parents have been married for 50 years.
Wow.
My sister's been married for 30 years. So I come from a background of
Wait, you have no kids?
I have no children. I have 5 sisters. I'm the youngest, and all my sisters are married. They all have children. So I come from a family of marriage.
Yeah.
And my older sister always told me, she's like, her and her husband successful, multi-millionaires, successful, both
nice.
Very attractive. Same with my parents.
Nice.
And my sister would always say, the difference between myself and my husband and everyone else is that we choose each other every day. That's the people ask me, how did you get this man to commit to you? How did I get you to commit to me? It's because we made a conscious decision. And they got married at 23, so it wasn't out of any desperation to make a conscious decision. They were blessed. But I ask that because I feel like people have some confusion where it's like, where is the line drawn though? Because I can say I'm going to choose you every day, right? And you can choose me, but you could be cheating on me. You can have this going on. You could do this. So when I make that commitment, even in older age or whatever the case may be, how can people decipher, like, this is commitment, but this is where I should walk away?
I think anytime there's abuse,
okay,
right, or the relationship is causing an impairment to where you can no longer function,
okay,
right?
Yeah.
And the normalcy of the house is starting to be to the point where, it's so dysfunctional. You have a broken family, and people are just not able to come to a reasonable meeting point for the collective. Then it is time to walk away.
Yeah,
definitely. But I don't think it's time to walk away because we have a disagreement.
right?
Because I don't like you right now, or because you're doing shit that I just thought you would never do, and now we're here.
Yeah.
I think those are all just like spaces for y'all to do what the Bible says. It says, "Love your partner by knowledge of it." I just gotta learn to do this of you. And I think that people need to stop coming into relationships expecting people not to change. Paul made a good point earlier. He said, I fell in love with that woman. Then the child coming, things change so much. It's like, what do I do now? Well, you gotta learn to fall in love with the new woman who's a mama now. Who's trying to balance these 2 different roles. And you gotta be able to communicate with her. And she has to be able to hold a safe space for that man to communicate how he really feels without personalizing it. So they can have a real conversation around what is the reshaping of this relationship that's needed. Because I try to get people to see, because I love marriage. I am like so pro marriage and so pro love that when my clients come to my session talking about divorce, I say, listen, I got a question. Do we really want a divorce, or does this marriage just need to be reshaped? Can we just reprogram it? Can we reshape it? Because everything doesn't need to be divorced and broken and split.
Damn.
But you talk to married couples, you talk to people in relationships, and you hear the dysfunction in all of it. Why do you want to be married?
I love you for that. I know you're serious because that's a good question. No, because
right.
Why?
That's a real question. That's why I told you
earlier.
earlier. I'm confused about myself.
Because I see people come in my office, and because I'm not a tell me more doctor, I'm not a thank you for your money, figure it out, just come back. No, we work in this session. We work. And because I see them come in my office so hopeless, so despaired, so broken, so hurt, so confused, so resentful toward each other, right? And then I see them go from that. I see them go from that with the right tools, with the right guidance, with the right support, to learn how to love themselves, how to get out of their own way, how to become healthier within themselves, how to identify the little boy, the little girl in them who is actually in that marriage and not the adult in them, and realize, I thought I just loved you. I actually like you. Now that I know you past your trauma, now that I know you past the little girl in you who's abandoned and broken, that I was in a relationship with. For the first time in 10 years, 15 years, I'm meeting the man in you. To the little boy in you couldn't cover me, but the man in you can learn how. The little boy in you kept calling on me to be your mama, to atone for the things you didn't get from her. I'm here to be your woman, and every time I can't mommy you mad at me. You resentful toward me.
Ooh, damn.
But I didn't do that. I'm just here to love you. You can cry on my shoulder, but I can't mommy you. So I had to tell my client, literally 2 days ago, I had to say, listen, the reason why you're saying this woman doesn't have the capacity to do the things that you want is because you want her to mommy you. You got two options, bro. You either go back and try to get it from where you didn't get it from, good luck, or you surrender and you realize I'm never gonna get it. So I gotta heal that little boy in me, and I gotta move forward without getting it, and I gotta figure out how I'm going to supply that for myself, Paul. Because I told him the reason why this woman doesn't have the capacity is because if she did, God knew she would enable that little boy. But her not having it is dissipating your anxious attachment and your codependency. And God has to strip you of what He doesn't no longer need you to have if it doesn't serve you.
I mean, I hear you, though, but like, as a man, like when he's telling them,
Yeah.
the lady that he wants you to mommy him, that's your first example.
Which one?
Mom? Your mom.
Yeah, yeah.
Of how
Yeah.
to be treated.
Come on. Come on.
How to be loved.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you want that? You know what I'm saying?
100%. 100%.
And then y'all call, y'all mean daddy. So what we talking about here?
100%, yeah.
Like, so don't try to convince him to not want that mommy feel. Like, that's the first form of love as a boy feel. So like, don't discourage that. You know, I feel like that should be more encouraged. Like a man wants that. This is the first form of the purest form of love that you ever gonna be as a like ever gonna be. A woman don't come be your girlfriend, your wife, and leave. Most black moms, as a black man growing up here, that's the purest form of love. So like,
that's the purest form of love
that I've ever had.
If it was healthy. But if it was dysfunctional, hold on, and slightly abusive, abuse is not just.
That's love too.
Wait, abuse is love too?
Yeah, abuse is love. I like, because I come from old school. My mom would. That's called abuse, right?
No. Well, so I don't. Okay, I'm not a gentle parent, so I believe in physical discipline, meaning spanking.
That's
and I call whoopings. No, it's not.
That's abuse.
So it's subjective. For some people, you're right, they do consider that abuse. For some folks like myself, well, I don't consider my ass whoopings I got abused. I don't know if you did. I wasn't an abused child.
I mean, how we interpret it today.
No, you have some parents. I'm a parent who has no problem with pow-powing on the hand, pow-pow, whooping ass. I'm not abusing my child. As the Bible says, an undisciplined child is an unloved child. I still feel loved at 42 because I got my ass whipped. No, I'm saying as a parent, what I would do, yes, and that's what I received, and because I see the results of myself, right? I know that it worked. But my point of saying is that if a mother is abusive, and I love you saying that is the purest form of love that man has got, you're right. And if that man's purest form of love was at the hands of an abusive mother, then what kind of woman you think that man is choosing? I'm listening. Oh, that's a question.
I mean, that is a
what
question.
Kind of woman is he choosing? Let me go further. If that mother, right, didn't know how to love her son, but she gave her all, but there was a huge love deficit. Hold on. He's choosing a woman who's what? Emotionally unavailable. So what happened was this young man chose a woman who he loves so much, but she's emotionally unavailable. And when I asked him, well, your mom had to be emotionally unavailable, and you want her to mommy you and give you what you didn't get, but this woman is not there to do that. And you're already saying she can't. So she can't conform ever enough to do that for you. You know what he did? He put his head down on my desk and he cried like a baby. The little boy in him just wept. And I had to tell the girlfriend, whispered to her, I don't want to hear me say it. I said, hug him. Because I knew that's what he needed. Right? But he was in a relationship with who? His mama, who could never hug him, who was emotionally unavailable. So we tell you what we do. We set up feeding stations in our life at all ages. Okay? And the feeding stations that we set up are the feeding stations that we've learned as a kid that is either survival or thriving. And we feed on what's normal to us. It's called baseline. And if all I know is abuse, then I'm going to set up abusive feeding stations in all my relationships because I need that normal baseline for me to function, even if it's dysfunctional. So we have to look at what was your baseline? What is your norm? Where did you learn the norm? Did you learn it from dad, mom? Did you learn it from a group home? Did you learn it from someone who was sexually abusing you? Is that why you're promiscuous? Because for you, sexual abuse made you feel validated. It made you feel like you actually were good enough, but you didn't feel that anywhere else. So now you're promiscuous and you have no agency over your body because for you, that's the only way that you're fed. We got to look at those things. So for a man or even a woman, yes, you're right. Women should be nurturing and loving and submitting to their man. Absolutely. But the way we love y'all is different than the way we would mommy our sons. It shows up different. It shows up different. And the beauty of it is you and your wife have no limit on your debt. But your wife and her son do.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And so the debt that you can have with this woman, if she can be your woman and not your mama, is unlimited. But when she goes into mama mode, there's automatic limits and barriers that come in that fuck up the relationship. Because a mother and son relationship is unconditional love, but there's limits. There's boundaries to keep that relationship healthy.
Yeah. What's your situation right now?
He did not hesitate. And that's what you gotta do, fellas. When they doing all of that verbal spawning in judo, I call it jumping jacks. You just wait, and then you insert. So, what's your status? What you doing?
Launch Houston, Texas is now open. Join us for our grand opening celebration. The first 150 guests jump free for an entire year.
Some of my future goals is to basically figure out what I want to do longevity as far as a career. And
What happened?
What you mean situation?
Happy?
Happy? On your debt. But your wife and her son do.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And so the debt that you can have with this woman, if she can be your woman and not your mama, is unlimited. But when she goes into mama mode, there's automatic limits and barriers that come in that fuck up the relationship. Because a mother and son relationship is unconditional love, but there's limits. There's boundaries to keep that relationship healthy.
Yeah. What's your situation right now?
What you mean situation?
Happy? You got a man?
I'm dating. I'm single, but I'm dating.
Single but dating? Something serious more than other?
No, just dating.
we gotta check because she's therapy and us.
Yeah.
We gotta make this about her, man.
Right. You got to therapizing us.
So I was like, I want my woman to mommy me.
Like, hold on, what's going on with you? This is about you. You flipped the script on us. We over here.
First Uno.
Yeah, you showed it.
But it was good. It was
No,
exciting.
but it's like, no, we need to find out about what's going on with her. She's dating, single. What do that entail for a 42-year-old?
I'm dating,
But single.
enjoying my life. I have really good companions.
How many you dating right now?
I'm not
They-
exclusively.
I keep dating.
But I have one guy that I have dated off and on for 5 years.
Terrible.
We dated for 5 years off and
So
on.
you was his work for 5 years? You been his work? You still his work?
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah. I know what's going on now. Take this sheet clothing off.
I have read the wolf teeth coming out. No, we
You
have
was somebody's work for 5 years.
we have been each other's companion for 5 years, and yeah, I have spent the block for 5 years, and it's the truth. And
Yeah.
he doesn't like it. He's absolutely correct. He feels like I haven't provided.
Oh, your work.
We working together.
Okay.
We working together.
But you keeping him at bay, or is he keeping you at
He
bay?
wants a relationship. He wants to be committed.
You just like the sex.
Oh.
Let's keep it 100. How you keep somebody for 5 years? That's like for real. You can't keep nobody at a distance for 5 years. I ain't never done no shit like that.
I am not vitamin D deficient, so
No,
everything is good in that department. He wants a
She
relationship.
done kept him on the side until she figured out if it's something better. I see where this is going.
He just has some emotional maturity that he had to do. We're 9 years apart. He's 9 years younger than me, and so we both had to work through things, but he's had to work on his emotions and his intense insecurities around being in a
And
relationship.
you've been waiting on it. Like what's the problem? Why y'all not together?
Just because of that,
So you're waiting on that.
No, I'm not waiting on it, and I don't have him waiting.
So the D is good.
Oh,
Let's keep it.
Stop.
you put on his red pajamas and feel like he's supposed to get spicy tonight.
This is clear.
Oh my
I know her.
God.
She's from Long Beach.
I'm
Don't try to come
You
with
have
the suit jacket,
You know
the
what I mean?
boots. You still and the glow.
You know what I
You
mean?
still from Long
I'm
Beach.
still.
Not from Inglewood. I can see that.
I am from San Pedro, a small community in the city of Los Angeles.
I can
Okay.
see through all of that.
Yes, he has great qualities. He does well in all that he does with me. He just
That ain't what
emotionally
I asked you.
is.
I asked you about his job and all that.
He does well in all areas.
Okay,
What's
she
going on?
answered that. He
No,
does
she
well
did.
in all areas.
Emotionally,
I don't know. That's a broad question. What all
Paul,
areas?
you're a man, so you answer this question.
I asked you.
Emotionally, he goes back and forth from I love you, I want to be with you, I'm mad because you won't be with me, you won't commit to me, and then his insecurities get the best of him, and it's like, I want you, but I'm not sure if I deserve you, I'm not sure that I can facilitate you, I'm not sure that I can be with you. So when I say emotionally instability, it's like him wanting to be with me is concrete. That's not unstable. His emotions in the relationship are just unstable to where as a man, you gotta get vertical within yourself before you can be in a relationship.
Good with these
And
words.
I am.
Good with these words.
Listen,
Because
but
you
let me
giving
say
all
this.
these people advice.
Let me say this, Paul. He has every right to feel like what I've been doing as far as being in a relationship with him when I want to and is not something that gives him stability. However, I don't want to commit to a relationship with a man who I feel emotionally is not in a place of being able to be in a healthy relationship.
So why are you messing with him? Why are you playing mental games?
I'm not playing mental
That's
games with him.
mental games.
It's not mental games.
Why
It's
you
all
still-
transparency.
Why is it still sex involved?
How do you
why
know
is
we sexy? We could just be having a
Cause you from Long Beach, I know. You can't play me.
We could not be doing the two.
I know what's going on.
But let me say this: it is transparent. He understands. I understand. I understand what he wants. He understands why I don't want to commit at this moment with him, which is the emotional piece that him and I talk about openly. I support him in it. I hold space for him in it. He's, we talked about it intensively, and he understands it. And he's. That's what.
Sit. Ready, most of these. Go ahead.
That's what I'm doing?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Oh,
come here.
Well, you know what? If that's what I'm doing, I'll say this, and people gonna be mad, and I'm okay. If I'm doing what Paul said, I'd much rather be the one walking you at the dog park than the one on the leash. If that's true. So that means, to my point, at 42, I'm not opt out. We are not opt out. Okay, we have options, and we are not on the leash. We can actually be the one holding the leash. It's all about.
But you said in the beginning of the podcast that you're a 42-year-old woman who's cooked.
You standing in and on your square, and you doubling down on that. Period. There's men out there who would show up in any capacity we want. We don't have to settle, and we don't have to settle at a certain time. We can do what we want. Because I tell you one thing, I'm not doing. I ain't doing time, but I ain't spending a whole lot of time with who I want, when I want, and both of us are enjoying and getting what we want. Come on.
Y'all can't be just taking too long when y'all cook. Y'all gotta make some decisions around here. Y'all gotta start making some final decisions. This is the final round of Jeopardy.
Yeah. So who knows? Maybe the end of this year it'll be
Let me ask you something, because this is always, and I ain't asked this yet. What percentage is sex in a relationship?
You mean based on studies or me?
No. I'm asking you.
Oh, okay.
Like, all right, what percentage of the relationship, like, because this is the thing, you can be with somebody like he'll die for you. He just everything. Like, you trust everything that he'll stand in front of the bullet for you.
Yeah.
All of that. You'll trust that this man will be by your dying bed. I'm talking about like thick and thin. But the moment he step out on that end of it, it's over.
Well, I'm a Jesus girl. The Bible says there's two permissible reasons for divorce.
Mm-hmm.
One is what you described, which is called infidelity, and the other one is unfaithfulness. Look up that scripture.
Like that.
So what I'm saying is,
so what percentage is sex in a relationship?
For me personally,
90.
For me personally, because I'm not into casual sex. So
no,
part of
in the relationship.
Yeah, I'm into it. What I'm saying is because I'm not into casual sex. Part of how I connect and express my love is also through the act of making love, and it's also through allowing my husband to use my body as a vessel for his satisfaction. See, a lot of women have a problem with that, and I'm not knocking them; they do. But what I'm saying is, for me, but that's a love language for me. So for me, like, right, if my husband is saying, in the morning, I just want a quickie before I go to work. I don't take it as he's getting a quickie because he's using me. He doesn't love me. I take it as, oh my God, like I'm being used by my husband. He's using my body as a vessel to satisfy him. So for me, I'm going, I want you to want me for a quickie, for a longie, for an in-betweenie, whatever it is, because now I'm feeling needed by you, loved by you, nurtured by you, and I'm being a vessel for you, right? So my thing is, if he's coming to me all day long, and I've had to tell a client this, if he's coming to me all day long, then that should never be a defining factor whether he cheats or not. That's a character flaw. However, I'm also not putting my husband in the position to feel like, wait a minute, I'm in a deficit because all I'm doing is trying to use my wife, who should be a vessel for me, and I don't even have access to that. So I'm an access woman. My husband accessing my body is also a love language for me. So the more that he accesses me and has his way with me, the more I'm in love and feeling loved by him. But I'm also not a fatherless girl. I've had a father in my life, not just present, but present, having conversations with me that men should be having with their daughters. When I first got engaged, he was very clear. Listen, Don't deny him. If he's leaving to go somewhere, offer it up. Make sure that he knows that he has access to it. He said, unless it's abused or something of that sort, submit. There's nothing wrong with that. And so I was told that by a man who loved me, right? Who never took advantage of me. So his word is bond. And when I've been in relationships, I've been engaged twice. That's one thing that I remember my fiance saying. He was like, one thing I got to say about you, Shai, he's like, no matter what we went through or disagreed with or argued about, he's like, you never denied me sex and you never played around with trying to puppet me with that. And it wasn't, again, because I want to keep him from cheating, because you can't control a motherfucker for doing what they going to do no matter what you do. Period. It's, I feel loved when you use me as a vessel. I feel like,
I love it. No, this is game on here.
No, that's
No,
real.
this is game. I like this game.
I love that. And I feel the same way.
But women have to also, to the women who don't have that mindset because they've either been sexually abused or they're fatherless little girls or they have other barriers, listen, that is okay. Like, you got to work through what you have going on. It's not a comparison thing. But when you get to a space where you feel safe and you look at, again, yourself as, I'm married to this man and him accessing me is really him using me as a feeding tank. I just think that is so beautiful that we are each other's feeding tank. And so it's always a feast available for you. And I do feel like if both men and women submitted sexually and all other ways, to say the feast is available for you. Because commitment's what? Not what I feel, is what I said I would do. And if I'm marrying you, by all means.
I also feel like that, like for me as a woman, if my man doesn't want me sexually, it makes me feel like inadequate. Like, well, is there something wrong? Like, are you attracted to me? Is there someone else that you're getting it from? Like, what's going on? So I personally, it's like a compliment to me that my man wants to come and have sex with me no matter what time. Like, I've never been in a relationship and denied a man of sex. Like, it's just not, that's not something I do. I don't use my sex as a pawn and as a weapon. And I feel like a lot of women do that. And then, like you said, it leaves room for like, okay, I'm not getting what I want from home. And again, it's not in a way to be like, I don't want you to cheat, so I'm gonna have sex with you every minute. It's in a way of, like you said, I don't want people to misuse me, but use me as much as you can, because that's what I'm here for. I want you to want me. And I want you equally. And I feel like if I'm in love with this man, or even if there's times where like love is not always enough, but I know that I rock with you, I know we're connected. I view sex as a form of intimacy. You're inside of me. That's the closest we can be. So when I'm intimate with you, especially because men are different with expressing emotions. So for me, it's like if you're inside of me and I'm intimate with you, you're kissing me, and I can feel you inside of me, like that makes me feel so close to you, and it makes me feel so loved by you that I just like at my highest, like I feel like I can manifest at my highest when I'm in that space with my man. I always want you to feel like you can come to me. And like I said, I've been in relationships where if we stop having sex, I look up like, damn, well, what's happening? Is it someone else? Are you not attracted to me? Like, what is going on? And that's a red flag in my mind.
And I love what you said, because I always tell folks, if I choose you, I trust you. But if I don't trust you, why am I choosing?
Exactly.
So if I trust you, you can access me, right? That's even as a friend.
Yeah.
My best friends, I choose them. I trust them fully. They got full access. I'm accessing. Exactly. And really quick, I had clients come to me. They were both 30, and their biggest issue was, for him, she was denying him of sex. And he said to me, Doc, listen what he said, Paul. He said, listen, he said, Doc. And then her issue was he came to her and said he wanted polyamory. Right? So I'm trying to unravel why he wants polyamory. They're 30, and I'm like, well, is that what you want? And she's like, hell no, I don't want it. And so he goes, look, Doc, man, he goes, I'm 30 years old, and I'm masturbating more than I'm even getting sex. He goes, and I've never cheated on her. I love her. It's been 5 years. And I asked her, has he cheated? She said, no. They've been together 5 years. And I said, has he ever cheated? She said,
what?
I know, right? I know, Paul, what's going on? So, she said in 5 years she has no evidence that he's ever cheated. So we got to go with the fact this man is a man. He's never cheated. And so he says, when I ask her, hey, I want some, she says no. And I I asked her, I said, well, are you in pain? Is there something else going on? And she said, no. And he said, I said, how do you respond? She says, I don't feel like it. But she's also wanting this man to marry her. She's also wanting this man to do different commitments. And she also is not okay with polyamory. So I said to her, I said, why do you feel like you have a problem with him, right? Using your body as a dating station. He said, because I feel used. I don't feel loved anymore. I feel used. I said, okay. I said, but you have a man who would rather masturbate.
For the ones working to make every day a little sweeter, there's Granger for the ones who get it done.
You've done this before, haven't you?
Yeah, but usually my underwear is on the outside.
Everyone's gearing up for the holidays in a Chevy of their choice. And it all comes together in a Chevrolet. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
And step out on you because that's how much he loves you. But you still feel used when he makes you his feeding station. I said, okay, but you don't want polyamory either. I said, if it's abuse or if there's an impairment, for sure, they know. And you always have agency over your body. However, if this man is telling you that I want you as my feeding station, and you can't see that as being a vulnerability in him, a plus in him, a reward in him, then you're going to have a problem. I said, and he's coming to you telling you I want polyamory because he's still trying not to cheat.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, listen, if you go into this marriage and we don't fix this, you will have a sexless marriage. You will. So what I'm saying is, what ended up happening is this young woman has daddy issues. And the fact that she doesn't feel valued by her father, she doesn't know how to receive love and value from this man.
Yeah.
So her trauma is eclipsing her from saying, this man is faithful, this man loves me, this man is intentional about me, this man wants to marry me, and he's into me.
Yeah.
Right? And so all I'm saying is there's all these barriers that people come up with. And, it isn't always the man's fault. You got men who are really in session doing the right thing. And a lot of times men are not as vocal with their women about the issues because good men don't want to hurt their woman. So a lot of times they withdraw from saying, baby, you got daddy issues, or baby, this is not okay, or baby, I can't be masturbating. He said I masturbate 3-4 times a day, Doc.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot. But they're also
He's
learning
built up.
having sex only once a month.
Oh, that's crazy.
Right? So you have all these barriers in relationships, but when you see people break through these things and you really see them get to the other side, it shows you the essence of love. And it shows you how doing the work works.
He's not black.
Who's not black?
He wasn't black.
Yeah, he was a great looking, good man, black man, and great couple. They're still together and they're working through it. Those type of stories are very, very enlightening.
Something. That's gotta be something.
So I got it. I love this. So you're saying a nigga gonna be a nigga,
Right.
right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I understand
A nigga gonna be a nigga.
Yeah, so
So you're saying that she got a black man, not a nigga,
Right.
because he's deciding to try every angle.
Exactly.
But see, this is where a lot of men get upset at, because you have good men in those situations, right? With a woman who is not seeing the value in her man because she's eclipsed with her trauma and her daddy issues.
Yeah.
You get me? Hold on. Because if it was a different man, like you're saying, Paul, he would have ran the play he needed to run to make sure he was good.
No,
Hold on. But watch this. But as soon as she would have cried, I'm heartbroken because he cheated, is to your point. The man's wrong. Without people hearing the context of what even happened and how much work this man has put in. So there's good men out there that women are not receptive to because their own barriers, issues, and traumas that y'all got to work through. You just do, because if you run into what me and Paul said, a nigga who gonna be a nigga, you're gonna be in my session talking about dog, I'm broken heart. But when you have the good guy who was sitting up there trying to make sure he did right by you, run every play, you was turning the shoulder to him. That's a problem.
That's real.
That's a problem. And we gotta be able to call women out too.
That's real.
Not just men. We gotta call women out too and say, I told her, I said, you got a good man. And she said, you know what? I gotta overcome my issues. Because I got a good man.
Driving with her headlights on. That's how it is sometimes. And I do see a lot of women who want good men and then they have one right in front of them and they can't even recognize it. And it's like, damn.
Because we see in others who we are, not who they are.
Exactly.
That's it. This is why it's a self-job. I'm only experiencing myself with y'all. If I'm nasty, I'm experiencing nasty. I can't see past myself.
Yeah.
None of us can see past ourselves.
You see through the trauma. So
I don't know if she should be a therapist or a pimp.
I'm crying about it.
I've only been listening for the last, hey, hold on, I'm over here.
A therapist or a pimp is crazy.
Oh my God.
She know what she's talking about.
Therapist or a pimp, huh? You see why I'm taking my time? Huh?
I can see that.
Yeah. You see, the therapist is what y'all get. The pimp is what they get.
She ain't playing.
She's serious.
I know what this is.
What is it, Paul? What is it? What? Diagnose me. What is it?
I ain't gonna diagnose.
I'm crying. I love it. I love it.
Paul said she talking about feeding station. She just a pimp. She got the gift of the gab. Talking about feeding station.
Yeah. All beach. Most of y'all.
Boy, I'm gonna have been lined up with their little feeding pot.
I'm
They little
crying.
Feeding station, anybody? Feeding station.
Yeah.
We've been here a while, man. Doc, you've been amazing.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah.
I feel like I got some good therapy today.
Yeah, you
know,
therapized.
I grew today, actually. I learned a lot today. I've always admired your work. I listen to you, I follow you, obviously. And I appreciate this time right here. But I know this is Long Beach. You ain't fooling me.
I'm crying.
This is like, we get this on camera. There's something else off this camera. I know what it is. That's for another day.
Yeah. We have to do another episode about pimping.
About real pimp.
Because game recognize game.
Okay.
So we see in others who we are, not who they are. You see a pimp in me, pimp.
Man, I'm far from that.
Yeah, he seen it first, right? I didn't see it. He seen it.
Because I grew up around it.
Oh.
And I've been around a lot of slick talkers, from Chicago to the Bay, Long Beach and Inglewood.
LA.
To LA, right.
I love that.
So,
yeah, well, I really appreciate you coming. I'm also, I love what you talk about. You're very level-headed, and I feel like you just bring an essence to the internet and to all these spaces that we need to hear, and a lot of women and men need, and I really appreciate that because, we live in a world where anyone can get on a mic and say anything. I really value people who are educated, who actually do the work, and who actually have the experience to talk about these things. So I'm really grateful that you came on our show. Thank you so much. We really, really appreciate you. We fuck with you. And we thank you. So thank everyone for listening to The Truth After Dark.
Before we go, is there anything?
Yeah, anything you want to leave us with?
Yeah, well,
tell
for
everybody
one,
where they can
yes,
see you.
I'm going to say that, but I love y'all's chemistry.
Thank you.
That's why you see me, I be on the comments on Instagram.
Yeah,
You see, I be in the comments. I be in the comments. I love y'all chemistry together. I love you guys, how you guys play tennis. It's so good.
Thank you.
I do, and I love how you check his ass. That's good. I love it, and I love how you allow it, as you should. You're learning, you're growing, you're learning.
Yeah.
But and thank you for using your platform for allowing me to come on and give my tools, because my purpose is just to change lives and help people live a better quality life, mental health, the human right, not a race right. So thanks for having me. And y'all, my new book, Mental Detox, is available pre-order everywhere. So go get it, pre-order. It is available November on Thanksgiving. We'll be shipping out everything. And I do want to shout out 50 Cent for being one of my biggest supporters in my career, as well as taking lead on getting me my double book deal with the biggest publishing company in the world. Shout out to 50 Cent and my agent, Mark. Yeah, 50 went to bat for me, so love him for that. That's my guy. Yeah, but y'all go get that book.
I'm a pre-order.
I'm getting that too.
Detox, pre-order my book. It's good. And then we have Divine Wilderness, the next book coming out. And then I will give y'all an exclusive.
Come on.
I'll give you an exclusive.
Tell us his name.
She's pregnant. 2025, baby. 2025.
Actually, no. Everyone can tune into my talk show, In Session with Dr. Brian, which is airing every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. This is the first place I've said it. I haven't said it again anywhere else. But our premiere is July what's that Tuesday, July? What was our premiere? You got your calendar with you?
Come on, exclusive. I love that. We get an exclusive.
Yeah.
That's gonna be amazing.
And the show
7, 14, or 21.
Yeah, it's that Tuesday. Yeah, July 15th. In Session with Dr. Bryant premieres, y'all. It is not a pod, it is a show. And not to knock any pods, but pods are amazing. I love them. And it's all healing. It's a lot of work, a lot of crying, a lot of processing, a lot of the Dr. B isms that you get, a lot of go deeper. We're working. And so, yeah, we're going to go there. It's going to get deep.
I'm excited for that. I'm going to be tuning in. So, July 15th, we got the talk show with Dr. B. Okay, I'm really excited. 7 p.m. on Tuesdays, Eastern time. That's amazing. I look forward to that. Make sure you guys get her book coming out, Mental Detox, Thanksgiving. Yeah, it's going to be incredible.
Available now for pre-order.
I will be pre-ordering mine tonight. Amazing. Anything else you want to share, or is that?
No, I'm just excited. I'm really excited because I'm really excited for the show. That's a lot of different networks and people have been asking for it, and had a conversation with 50 about shows earlier last year, and he gave me some of the best advice. He said, do it on your own, or make sure that you have the backing and funding, that you own your show, you own your license, and go kill that shit, doc. And so I'm really proud because there isn't what I call like a Black Dr. Phil right now. We don't have that. And we don't have it as a woman, even on television. And so I'm just really excited to bring that healing piece to folks so they can see, a representation of a Black woman loving our people and other people, but really advocating for our community and healing one person at a time, one viewer at a time. And really just my sheep hearing my voice and being a vessel. I'm excited about it.
Are you going to have a live audience?
Nope.
No live audience. Okay.
Because it's not like a Dr. Phil where we're there just to have an audience. We doing real work.
Yeah.
And we got people who are coming in with real issues, really intimate, really processing. And we're doing follow-ups to make sure they get the assessments, the evaluations they need, the processing that they need. So it's some.
Dang, I might need to come on and get some therapy, okay?
Yeah. It's going to be good.
Okay, that sounds amazing. I look forward to that. Thank you for coming. We really, really appreciate that. Make sure you guys tune in with Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, Truth After Dark. Subscribe, follow. We'll have all her information as well as her book tagged in the YouTube so you can pre-order. And thank you guys for tuning in.
And we cooked.
Cooked.
We definitely cooked. We super cooked, baby.
We super cooked. We ain't raw meat, salmonella, baby.
witnesses to taking over the game. All right, everybody. Welcome to Truth After Dark.
Do you think that men or women are more toxic?
Finding an affordable place to live is harder than ever. High credit score requirements, big deposits,